So in honor of Valentine's Day today, I thought it would be so fun to do some book recommendations for one of my favorite albums, All About Love, Lover by Taylor Swift. This album is, for the most part, just very happy and fun, and we were truly cheated out of Loverfest and the Lover Tour because the costumes, the vibes, just everything would have been so perfect. But since we did not get that, I guess books will just have to do, at least until Eras Tour. So starting off with our first song, I Forgot That You Existed. In this song, Taylor is just talking about someone that really just took up a lot of space in her brain, really just caused her a lot of turmoil, and then eventually just one day she realized, I don't love them, I don't hate them, I'm just so indifferent, like I forgot that they even existed. And for this song, I decided to go with "'Tis the Season for Revenge" by Morgan Elizabeth. If you don't know what this book is about, it is a Legally Blonde inspired holiday romance where the girl is dating a well-established lawyer. He is very serious and she is more fun and outgoing, and he just does not appreciate her. He breaks up with her one night and she just feels so distraught, and she decides that she is going to get back at him by getting with his boss. Throughout the book, she realizes that even though her ex took up so much space in her brain before, she really is just getting to the point where she's falling in love with herself and doesn't really care about him anymore. Some of the lyrics that reminded me of this book were, "How many days did I spend thinking about how you did me wrong, lived in the shade you were throwing till all of my sunshine was gone." She also says, "And I would have stuck around for ya, would have fought the whole town, so yeah, would have been right there front row, even if nobody came to your show, but you showed who you are, and then one magical night, I forgot that you existed." Next is not only my favorite song on this album, but my favorite Taylor Swift song ever, and that is "Cruel Summer." I honestly could have done a full video dedicated to just Cruel Summer recommendations because since it's my favorite song, I think about it constantly and compare it to every book, but it would honestly be a crime if I didn't pick Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. If you've read this book, you know this song is actually featured in the book. It's the cab scene, if you know, you know. And it's even on the playlist. It's the very first song. You can't see that, but yeah. I didn't just pick this because it's in there. The lyrics are just so perfect for this book. This book follows a hockey player and a figure skater. They are both going to college, and someone destroyed one of the ice rinks, and so now the figure skaters and the hockey players have to share a space, and that's just not working for anybody. Some things happen along the way, and our main character, Anastasia, she is an ice dancer, so she skates with a partner, and something happens and she needs a new partner, and so you probably guessed it, Mr. Hockey Player here becomes her partner. They start off really not liking each other, and the tension and just everything kind of builds as the story goes along. So the main thing that really reminds me of this book is actually the bridge, which is iconic. The bridge of this song is, "I'm drunk in the back of the car and I cried like a baby coming home from the bar. Said I'm fine, but it wasn't true. I don't want to keep secrets just to keep you. And I stuck in the garden gate every night that summer just to seal my fate. And I screamed for whatever it's worth. I love you. Ain't that the worst thing you ever heard?" He looks upgrading like a devil. It's so perfect for this book. I love it. I love this song. I love this book. It's perfect. So the next song is the title of the album, Lover. This is such a sweet song and it's super special to me. I actually walked down the aisle to an instrumental of this song, so every time I hear it, it's just, it holds a special place in my heart. And I actually have a copy of the book that I'm picking for this song, but I'm loaning it out, so a picture will have to do. But that is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. In this song, she talks about just having this beautiful love with someone and how they get to make their own traditions and make their own rules, and I think that is so perfect for It Starts With Us. I'm sure everyone knows, but this is actually the sequel to It Ends With Us, and I said it a million times. It Ends With Us, to me, is not really a romance. It's more of just a story of a woman's strength and her journey. It Starts With Us was the romance that we were looking for, you know, the happy ending that I think everybody wanted to see. And so some of the lyrics in this song that reminded me of the book were, "We could leave the Christmas lights up till January. This is our place, we make the rules." Just like I said, just creating their own traditions and rules of their place. I know that the two characters that we see finally getting together had really struggled in their childhood. They had very traumatic upbringings, and so a lot of the book is them just wanting better for their future family and everything. And I just think that the lyrics in this are so pure and so sweet. Also the lyric, "My heart's been borrowed and yours has been blue. All's well that ends well to end up with you." That's just so sweet. There is a very traumatic thing that our main character goes through in the first book, and you know, the character she's with, I'm sure everybody knows, but I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers, but I think that's so perfect. You know, they have both been through their own struggles, but they find so much happiness and comfort in each other. So yeah, there's not much else to say, but I think this book is perfect for this song. Next up is The Man, and I love this song. The book that I am picking for this song is The Risk by Elle Kennedy. This song talks a lot about the double standards between men and women, and specifically in Taylor's case, how she gets a lot of hate for only writing about relationships or dating around a lot. And when a guy does it, it's really not looked at any different. Like, when writing songs, I mean, Ed Sheeran, he gets a lot of his inspiration from real life romance. And no hate to Ed Sheeran, but no one's looking at him and saying, oh, he's, you know, that's all he sings about. And in The Risk, our main female character, Brenna, is wanting to be a sports journalist, I believe. And she is really interested in working at HockeyNet, and she goes to interview, and the head guy there is just very misogynistic. He really doesn't give her the time of day at all. Really just fits this song. She gets very irritated because she knows that if she were a guy, she wouldn't be having the issues that he does. Some of the lyrics in this song, I already kind of mentioned some, but she mentions, like, "I'm so sick of running as fast as I can, wondering if I'd get there quicker if I were a man." And they'd say I hustled, put in the work. They wouldn't shake their heads and question how much of this I deserve, what I was wearing, if I was rude, could all be separated by my good ideas and power moves. I think Brenna would really appreciate this song. The next song is The Archer, which I think gets a lot of hate, and I actually love this song. I think that it is the perfect song for someone who is just so anxious and just constantly, I don't know, just a constantly anxious person, which you know, that's me. So for this one, I'm kind of picking a series and also a character, and that is Farah in ACOTAR, and kind of specifically ACOMAF. Not only does Farah actually use a bow and arrow, I think that there's a lot of lyrics in here that she could actually really relate to. The lyric where it says, "I've been the archer, I've been the prey, who could ever leave me, darling, but who could stay?" In ACOTAR, she goes through some traumatic events, and in here we see her struggling with that a lot. And I mean, certain characters are not there for her like other ones are. Plus, who could ever leave me, darling? Hello, Farah, darling. The lyrics, "All the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't put me together again, because all of my enemies started out friends. Help me hold on to you." If you know, you know. I mean, certain people turn into Farah's pretty much biggest enemies, and yeah, I think this goes together so nicely. Next up is such a fun song. I think this might be my second favorite on the album, but it is I Think He Knows. And for this song, I am picking The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Both are just so fun, light, just they give off very similar vibes. Some of the specific lyrics in This Won't Stop Falling, so my little background, it's gotta go. I'm sorry. Some of the specific lyrics in this song that remind me of this book are in the chorus when she's talking about how she wants to see what's underneath his attitude. Like, Adam Carlson is such a moody, angsty guy, and Olive is so just sunshiny, and I think that that really fits in the song too. I mean, like I said, this song is so just upbeat. I love thinking of them with this song. I think it works so perfectly. So the next song is Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, and I know that this song has a much deeper meaning than how I'm going to portray it. I know Taylor has talked about how it talks a lot about, you know, kind of the delusion in the world with, you know, politics and just things, and it's set in a metaphorical high school. However, I cannot think of a book that I have read that is that deep. So my choice is going to be set in an actual high school, and I'm sorry if you have a better recommendation for this song. I'd love to hear it, but the one that I am going to pick is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. Like I said, I know this song has a much deeper meaning than just being set in a high school, but bear with me here. So this book follows two pen pals, and they have been writing to each other ever since they were super young. Even though they were only required to write to each other during this class, they continued writing on for years, and they became super close. They made a pact they wouldn't look each other up on social media, but because of that, they feel like they can really express their secrets and true feelings and just be their true authentic selves around each other. Some of the lyrics in this song that reminded me of this book were, you know, I adore you, I'm crazier for you than I was at 16, lost in a film scene. They've both felt like they had this big connection with each other, and they have felt just very strongly about each other. And I forgot to even say the biggest part, this isn't a spoiler, but in this book, when our main guy character meets the girl, she is, you know, very popular and just not what he expected at all, and so he stops writing her, and she has no idea why. So he knows who she is, she doesn't know who he is, and it creates a lot of angst, and he decides that he just really does not like her. However, our main character really feels like she doesn't fit in, and so certain lyrics in this book, like they whisper in the hallway, she's a bad, bad girl, the whole school is rolling fake dice, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. She's friends with and dating people that she really doesn't like being around. She's just kind of doing it for the sake of like the game of high school. So Misha, our main guy character, really kind of feels the same way. Like he's like, what is this stupid game you're playing? This is not who you are. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm picking this one. Like I said, I know that's not really the intended message that Taylor had for this song, but I still think a lot of the lyrics work with this book. All right, next is such a fun song, and that is Paper Rings. And the book that I picked to go with this song is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This book is about two friends that meet in college, and they decide to go on these trips together. And it is a dual timeline where we are going back to previous vacations that they've taken, and also the current summer where they are no longer really talking. But she misses him, and so she says she's going on this work trip and needs someone to go with her, and so he ends up going with her. But something has happened between them, and you're kind of slowly finding out what it is and what has caused this tension and distance between them. However, it is a romance, so there is a happy ending to this story. But some of the lyrics in Paper Rings that reminded me of this book were, the wine is cold like the shoulder that I gave you in the street, cat and mouse for a month or two or three, now I wake up in the night and watch you breathe. Like I said, there is a conflict in this book, and so they did have quite a bit where they were just not talking to each other, but you know, in romance style fashion, things kind of work itself out. Also, I love this song because I am a huge fan of friends to lovers romances, and the line, "I hate accidents except when we went from friends to this, that's right, you're the one I want." Basically, that song could work with really any friends to lovers, but like I said, they do start out as really, really good friends. And in this song, she's talking about certain memories that she has with this guy, and in this book, since we're going back, we're seeing all of the memories that they have together. And so some of the lyrics, like, "In the winter in the icy outdoor pool, when you jumped in first I went in too, I'm with you even if it makes me blue, which takes me back to the color that we painted your brother's walls. Honey, without all the X's, fights, and flaws, we wouldn't be standing here so tall." This song just fits this book perfectly. Next up is such a beautiful song, and that is "Cornelia Street." In this song, she talks a lot about the anxiety and stress of being in a relationship that you are so afraid to lose. And I think that a book that fits this song so well is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Another Emily Henry. Honestly, who's surprised? Nora is a very type A personality. She's very close with her sister, and a big plot point in this story is that she doesn't want to be alone. Like, she relies a lot on her sister. I'm trying so hard not to give away spoilers to this book, but again, it's a romance, so you know that she ends up with someone, and it's someone that she probably would not have expected. I think some of the lyrics in Cornelia Street really fit this book so perfectly. So one of the main conflicts that our main character Nora has with our love interest Charlie is that Nora works for a publishing company, and she has this book that she really believes in, and Charlie does not want anything to do with it, and then it ends up being a huge hit. The book actually takes place in the town that Charlie's from, and so the line where it's talking about, "I'm mystified how the city screams your name," he is so rooted in this town that they go to and that the story is set in. Back when we were card sharks playing games, I thought you were leading me on. She is so, like I said, type A, and just, she wants to find somebody but really struggles in finding someone who checks all of the boxes, and so she doesn't really expect anything with Charlie at first, and she doesn't really think that he would want anything with her. But I think that this song does a great job of showcasing the stress and anxiety of a new relationship, and I think that Nora can really relate to those feelings when it comes to finding love. Next is Death by a Thousand Cuts, and the book that I picked for this one is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This song is all about an end of a relationship that really impacts you, and I think that this book fits that perfectly. This is another childhood to lovers, to strangers, to lovers story, and a lot of the lyrics just really reminded me of this book. I don't think I've ever put the two together until I started trying to think of a book for this song, especially when she talks about flashbacks waking her up. Like, this book is another dual timeline where we are following the characters now, where they've had a certain dispute and they're not really talking to each other, and then they come back into each other's lives, but we're also following back then when they meet, become friends, and then eventually develop feelings for each other. The things that happen to these characters really keep them guarded, and so the lyrics, "I look through the windows of this love, even though we boarded them up, chandeliers still flickering here, because I can't pretend it's okay when it's not. You said it was a great love, one for the ages, but if the story's over, why am I still writing pages? Why are they still, you know, not completely over each other?" And then one of the most iconic bridges that Taylor has ever written, "My heart, my hips, my body, my love, trying to find a part of me that you didn't touch, gave up on me like I was a bad drug. Now I'm searching for signs in a haunted club." Both characters kind of think that the other gave up on them because of these things that ended their relationship. "My time, my wine, my spirit, my trust, trying to find a part of me you didn't take up, gave you so much, but it wasn't enough. But I'll be alright, it's just 1,000 cuts." So now I don't think I'll be able to listen to this song without thinking about this book. The next song is London Boy, and the most obvious song that I could pick for that was Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I'm sure you know what this book is about already, but in case you don't, this book follows the son of the US president and his relationship with the prince. Basically, the Prince of England, the king and queen's son. Basically, he is British royalty and he falls in love with the US president's son. But needless to say, the prince is a London boy, and this song is just all about an American falling in love with a London boy. And I mean, what could be more perfect than Red, White, and Royal Blue? And since they are both sons of political figures, this is kind of scandalous for some people, and some rumors go around, and so the line, "So I guess all the rumors are true, you know, I love a London boy." I really just love that. Like, so casual, but just the romance in this is so sweet. Even though this is another one that wasn't my favorite book when I read it, I think the romance is just so sweet. There's so many fun moments in the book. Okay, next is a song that I think I've listened to the full way through maybe 3 times, and I didn't even listen to it before doing this video because it makes me sob every time. And that is obviously Soon You'll Get Better. I don't even have a book that fits this song, really. I truly can't listen to this song. It is about her feelings when she found out her mom was diagnosed with cancer, and it has some of the most heartbreaking lyrics that exist in her entire discography. And this book that I'm picking is actually not even a mother-daughter relationship, but I'm picking Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. There is a death in this book. I will not say who. Some of the lyrics that really reminded me of this book were, "I just pretend it isn't real. I'll paint the kitchen neon. I'll brighten up the sky. I know I'll never get it. There's not a day that I won't try." The character that gets very sick in this book, one of the sisters really just tries to be there for her, and I don't know, I can't think about it too much. We are not going to cry in this video, and I hate to make this all about me, but who am I supposed to talk to? What am I supposed to do if there's no you? This won't go back to normal if it ever was. It's been years of hoping, and I keep saying, because I have to, you'll get better, soon you'll get better. If you've read this, you know who I'm talking about. It might not fit it exactly perfectly, but I think that the feelings that Taylor is getting across in this is a lot how this character feels towards the character that passed away in this book. So we're gonna leave it at that. We're not gonna make this sad. This is a happy album. This is a happy album. And then we go to False God, which is such, I would love to know who decided on that little transition, the Soon You'll Get Better to False God situation. It was an interesting choice. I pulled out some very specific lyrics, and the book that I am going to pick for this song is Love Her or Lose Her by Tessa Bailey. This book is all about a couple that has kind of fallen apart throughout the years. They've just gotten very comfortable together, and so the girl decides that she wants to leave. She no longer wants to be married, and our male character Dominic really does not want that, and so he decides to basically do whatever he can to try to win her back. Even though that's not the overarching theme of this song, I think a lot of the lyrics really fit it perfectly. The first lyrics, "We were crazy to think this could work. Remember how I said I'd die for you. We were stupid to jump in the ocean separating us. Remember how I'd fly to you." So like I said, these two characters have kind of distanced themselves. They all warned us about times like this. They say the road gets hard and you get lost when you're led by blind faith. I know heaven's a thing. I go there when you touch me. Honey, hell is when I fight with you. Like I said, these two are just not really seeing eye to eye. They're really struggling, and you can't talk to me when I'm like this, daring you to leave me just so I can try and scare you. You're the West Village, you still do it for me, babe. Plus, this song is, you know, a very steamy song for Taylor, and Tessa Bailey writes some steamy romance. All right, next up, You Need to Calm Down. This is such a fun poppy song, basically about not being rude, just letting people be who they want to be. You know, you need to calm down. Why are we so angry about things? And this was another one that was really hard to find a book that fit this song, because I mean, there's not really like a huge story to this song. Basically, just don't be a rude person. But a book that I read recently that I did not like, but that I think really fits this song, is A Merry Little Meet Cute. In this book, we follow a girl who is in the adult film industry, and she gets this job as an actress working on this basically really wholesome Hallmark-esque set. And yeah, it's a very funny setup, I thought. But there is a lot of representation in this book. There are characters, I think both of our main characters are actually bi, and like I said, our main character is in the adult film industry, and so there is just a lot of judgment around her and about the relationships between different characters. And so when I was trying to think of a book that fit this song, it really just kind of made sense, because I mean, a lot of people get worked up about her job and which characters are dating who, and you know, their publicist trying to make them look good and basically lying to everybody so everyone will be okay with things. And it's just like, we need to calm down. Like, everyone is being too loud. Let's just, you know, simmer down and let people be. Next up is Afterglow, which is such a beautiful song. Taylor talks about in this song blowing something out of proportion, kind of putting blame on her partner and just wanting to meet them in the afterglow, just like, okay, let's just forget about this. Yeah. And a book that I think fits that perfectly is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. In this book, we follow a kind of initially toxic relationship where our main male love interest is just not ready for a relationship. He has had a lot of trauma, which we kind of find out through the book. I blew things out of proportion. Now you're blue. Put you in jail for something you didn't do. I pinned your hands behind your back. Thought I had reason to attack. And Miles really does, you know, put a lot of his issues onto Tate, and she initially doesn't know anything. But the chorus where it says, hey, it's all me in my head. I'm the one who burned us down, but it's not what I meant. Sorry that I hurt you. I don't want to do this to you. I don't want to lose this with you. I need to say, hey, it's all me. Just don't go, meet me in the afterglow. Miles eventually kind of gets peace with things. He realizes that, you know, he had a lot of issues that he was putting on Tate, and that he actually, you know, doesn't want her to go. And I think that a lot of the lyrics in this song really fits with how Miles feels towards Tate. And again, the bridge, Taylor Swift's bridges are just iconic, but she says, tell me that you're still mine, tell me that we'll be just fine even when I lose my mind. I need to say, tell me that it's not my fault, tell me that I'm all you want even when I break your heart. That's this book, I'm telling you, it is. This song is Tate and Miles. All right, next up is one of Taylor Swift's probably most controversial songs. You either love it or you hate it. Most people hate it, but that is Me. I think this song's fun. I'm not a Me hater, I must say, but I think the song is so fun and positive, and it's all about just, you know, being yourself, loving who you are. And I think that fits perfectly with It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This book is a Schitt's Creek inspired romance, and our main character is inspired by Alexis, and so she is just a lot. She's a lot to handle. Our main character, Brandon, is very grumpy. He's a grumpy fisherman, and so initially he just thinks Piper's a lot and it's just way too much for him. I know that I'm a handful, baby. I know I never think before I jump, and you're the kind of guy the ladies want, and there's a lot of cool chicks out there. I mean, she really is a handful. She's so used to this bougie lifestyle, and now she gets dropped in this town. I think that Piper would just really relate to those aspects of this song. And then just the line, I promise that you'll never find another like me. I mean, she's truly such an individual. Like, she is just unapologetically herself, and I love her for that. So I think that she would really love this song. I think that Piper would be a me stan. Another song that would fit any friends to lovers is It's Nice to Have a Friend, but the friends to lovers that I am going to pick for this song is Swear on This Life by Renee Carlino. This talks a lot about starting off as childhood friends, like school bell rings, you walk me home, sidewalk chalk covered in snow, lost my gloves, you give me one, want to hang out, yeah, sounds like fun. These two characters become really close because they wait at the same bus stop, and so they both have really hard childhoods, and watching them become friends and eventually more, which is exactly what this song is about. I just think that it fits so well. 20 questions, we tell the truth. You've been stressed out lately, yeah, me too. Something gave you the nerve to touch my hand. It's nice to have a friend. So when they're finally able to be open to each other about the hard times that they have, you know, our main female character lives in an abusive household, and our main male character, he just has a mom who, you know, works a lot. It's just not the best environment for him to be in, and they're finally able to, you know, open up to each other about that, and they really just bond over those experiences. And so I think It's Nice to Have a Friend really fits with this book so well. All right, and finally, our last song on Lover is Daylight, and the book that I picked to go with this, I'm actually lending it out to a friend again, but that is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I've only read the first 3 in this series, but I just think that it fits Lily and Lo's story so perfectly. The first lyrics are, my love was as cruel as the cities I lived in. Everyone looked worse in the light. There are so many lines that I've crossed, unforgiven. I'll tell you the truth, but never goodbye. I don't want to look at anything else now that I saw you. I don't want to think about anything else now that I saw you. I've been sleeping so long in a 20-year dark night, and now I see daylight. I only see daylight. So this book follows 2 addicts, and we really see their journey of just where they are at the lowest of lows, and eventually trying to overcome them together. And they are at the point in the first book where they are pretending to date so their family doesn't ask them questions about where they are, what they're doing. Like, they truly just cover up each other's addictions for them. And so when it's talking about how there are so many lines that I've crossed, unforgiven, and I've been sleeping so long on a 20-year dark night, when they finally do admit feelings for each other and try to overcome things together, it is truly so beautiful. And the line where it says, luck of the draw only draws the unlucky, and so I became the butt of the joke. They are very wealthy and pretty well-known families because their families both own very big companies, and so there are things that happen where people find out things about them, and, you know, it's embarrassing for them, and they truly have to rely on each other. And then Taylor ends the song with this beautiful talking little message where it says, I want to be defined by the things that I love, not the things I hate, not the things I'm afraid of, not the things that haunt me in the middle of the night. I just think that you are what you love. And yeah, I just think that's beautiful. I think that this song really fits Lily and Lo's relationship in the first 3 books. Those were all of the book recommendations that I have for songs on Lover. Let me know in the comments if you have any other suggestions or books that you really think fit some of these songs. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more bookish content from me, go ahead and subscribe down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.